My name is Tianli Li. I'm a second-generation traditional Chinese medicine practitioner and licensed acupuncturist. My clinic is in Old Town called Nature's Gift Acupuncture. Acupuncture is a holistic healing modality within traditional Chinese medicine. It includes insertion of hair-thin needles into different energy points of our body to improve the circulation, to reduce inflammation, and to calm the nervous system. So acupuncture is a great way for a lot of conditions like insomnia, stress, anxiety, to more like chronic pain, headaches, period pain, or people that are trying to conceive. Acupuncture helps you get rid of the nagging pain that you currently are bothered by with a drug-free method. So when we say acupuncture, we call it acupuncture needles. And when you think about needles, you're probably thinking about when you either get your blood drawn or like a tattoo, and you may be like thinking, oh, is that really painful? So the thing is, our acupuncture needles are as thin as your hair. For a normal needle that you get when you're getting your blood drawn, in that needle can fit 10 acupuncture needles. So a lot of times people come in for acupuncture, they're very nervous, and once I put the first needle in, they're like, that's it? Like, I don't even feel it. Another question that I get a lot is, where are you going to put these needles in? That is a great question. So it depends on what issues we're treating. And in acupuncture, we have a term called meridian. Meridians are channels that go through your body into the organ that we're ultimately treating. It's like, think about it as little metro stops, okay? For example, if you come in for allergies, if you have a lot of congestion here, chances are that there are some points on your hand that are on the same meridian that goes to your nose, and once we stimulate the point on your hand, that little metro train is going to go to the next stop and eventually enter the terminal station, which is your nose, and that's how we open up your nose. And that is a simplified version of what acupuncture meridians are. Why does hair loss start in the first beginning? So according to traditional Chinese medicine, there are a few different reasons contributing to hair loss. The first one usually is, we call it alopecia, with different spots. And usually in the spots, if you look at the scalp, it is really bright. If you touch it, it's not very fragile. In this case, in Chinese medicine, most likely the reason behind it is what we call liver qi stagnation.
With that liver qi stagnation?
Yeah, liver qi stagnation. So qi is this energy that flows in our body. Liver qi stagnation means there is stagnation of the flow of energy in our liver system. Liver system in traditional Chinese medicine is in charge of emotions like anger, frustration, impatience. So if you are someone that has liver qi stagnation, other than having alopecia, what you are also going to experience likely is going to be that you have very short fuse, you have a lot of PMS, a lot of breast tenderness before the period, you get really snappy easily, you a lot of times have pain up down here. Those are all different symptoms of liver qi stagnation. So for someone who has alopecia and also liver qi stagnation, we use acupuncture point to release that stagnant qi, to help the body have better flow of energy. So as a result, you will feel better emotionally, and at the same time, the hair growth is coming back. And that's the first thing. There's actually something that you can use at home to treat this. If you take some fresh ginger and you just peel the ginger, you use the fresh raw ginger onto the scalp, just kind of stimulate it. So back and forth, back and forth. So almost like you're using an eraser to erase the pencil mark.
So if you have ginger root at home, you can just kind of break it apart and kind of rub it on the scalp there?
Rub on the scalp.
Okay.
This is something you want to do daily.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, consistency is key with everything. Okay. So say someone doesn't have alopecia, but Thinning, yeah.
Yeah. So another reason that a lot of people have hair thinning or hair loss in Chinese medicine is what we call blood deficiency. So in Chinese medicine, very interestingly, how healthy your hair is a showing of how healthy your blood is.
Ah, okay.
So a lot of times with postpartum, or women have lost a lot of blood, they have a lot of blood deficiency, then their hair starts falling off. And at the same time, they're going to experience other symptoms of blood deficiency. For example, they get very tired very easily. They get lightheaded when they stand up from sitting down position. They get easily just scared. Like if you say hi to them out of nowhere, they're gonna be like, oh my god, you scared me.
Gotcha.
All of those, and also insomnia, hard to stay asleep.
Okay.
All of those are different symptoms of blood deficiency. Now with Chinese medicine and acupuncture, we work on meridians that improve the circulation, that generates and build blood, and that's how we can treat the hair loss in that aspect. An herbal way is Chinese red dates. Chinese red dates and goji berry. Those two are great alternatives for like an herbal tea perspective to improve the hair loss.
So with the herbs, the Chinese herbs, what we would love to know, is that something you carry here? Can we purchase it here? Okay.
Yeah. So what I do is I look at your body as a whole, and I look at what are the different patterns. For example, a lot of people have more than one issue. Some people have blood deficiency. They may also have what we talk about, qi stagnation. They may also get angry easily. In this case, we use different herbs to target exactly what you are going through. If you're someone who has blood deficiency and that's causing you have little or decreased blood circulation to the scalp, we use acupuncture points first on the scalp area to bring more blood circulation. And second, we use acupuncture points that on the meridians, for example, specifically spleen meridian, stomach meridian, to help your body build blood and increase your energy supply.
Okay. We also know as cosmetologists that the hair goes through 3 different cycles. And at the last cycle, that's when it sheds. So stress can make your hair cycles go from 1 to 3, like that.
Yes.
So explain to us how acupuncture can help someone who's really stressed to calm down that, so their hair cycle isn't automatically going to the last shedding phase.
Right. So acupuncture is a great way to calm your nervous system, to help you go from that fight or flight to a pretty zen and calming state. And a lot of times acupuncture, I see patients coming in, they tell me they say things like, I can't relax, it's not something I'm good at. But with all the needles in, with the point targeting the stress, they will just turn into this peaceful zen, which is completely different from how they walked in.
Yes. Speaking as a patient who gets acupuncture, I explain it as I feel like as soon as the needles are in, then I go into a meditative state. And yes, it is very zen-like. And of course, I fall asleep half the time. But it's very calming. So thank you for shedding light on that with the stress. I think that is a big part of why I see a lot of hair loss.
For sure.
I'm always trying to figure out why people are going through the hair loss, because if it's something internally, as a cosmetologist, as a hairstylist, I am limited on how I can help. But through this beautiful community that we have here in Alexandria, Virginia, I've met people who can help the internal part to help rewire and fix that energy flow, because that's most of the time where the problem is really coming from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because hair health for Chinese medicine is not just the health of your scalp. It's always just a branch of other symptoms that has another root cause.
I also know people dealing with thyroid issues tend to shed a lot of hair. So can you explain to folks at home, if they're dealing with thyroid issue, how can acupuncture be helpful for them, not just only for the hair loss, but for the thyroid itself?
So in Chinese medicine, we look at the different patterns of thyroid imbalance. We look at what are the organ systems that are imbalanced, that are deficiency. A lot of times, the first one is kidney deficiency. This usually goes hand in hand with people that have hypothyroidism, and they tend to feel cold all the time. They just don't want to move. For these people, they may have hair thinning, especially around the time of like fall season. For this group, then a great way, other than acupuncture, is something you can do at home, is to take more black sesame seeds. Black sesame seeds is a Chinese herb. It's also a food. It's great at improving the kidney health. So it's not only going to help your hair look more, bright and more volume. It's also going to help you improve the entire overall fatigue level, energy level.
Very cool. How could acupuncture be good for talking more female-related hormonal shifts and changes as the body ages?
Yes. So a lot of patients that I see come here for perimenopause issues, things like hot flashes, night sweats, mood swings, fatigue, weight gain around the belly area. In Chinese medicine, a lot of the most common patterns behind it are, the first one is their body's yin energy is deficient. Yin energy is the part of energy that cools you down, that moisturizes you, that calms you. When that energy becomes depleted around that age time, which is common, but when that energy gets depleted, you tend to feel hot easily. You can't calm down. You can't sleep throughout the night. Your skin will feel dry. In acupuncture, we use meridians that improve the yin energy part of your body so you can feel cool down naturally. And the second most common pattern that people come in with perimenopause is we say they have a lot of heat. They have extra heat in the liver system. The liver system in Chinese medicine is in charge of emotions like irritability, anger, stress, hormone imbalances. So when there's a lot of heat in Chinese medicine, it's another word for inflammation. When there's a lot of inflammation in the liver system, it's hard for them to feel calm.
Yeah.
It's impossible for them to not feel the mood swings.
So it's not your fault.
No,
It's not your fault.
A lot of times what patients are going to tell me, after working with me for about 2 to 3 weeks, they say, I don't get so angry anymore. The same situation is not going to set a fiasco anymore.
Ah. So she's a miracle worker. That's awesome. Are there any home remedies that could help with this?
Yes. So for perimenopause issues, I usually ask people to start with acupressure. A very simple acupuncture point that you could do at home would be if you take the hand out, you see a wrist line.
Yep.
And then you see there's where your pinky is,
yep.
Right below the pinky.
Yep.
You just put one finger, like right here. Yes, right here.
I'll do that so I can.
Yeah, one pinky by the wrist crease,
yep.
Along with how the pinky is right here.
Okay. And
yeah.
You just press in?
You press in circular motions.
Okay.
Like 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay.
That is a very simple one.
Okay.
Another thing that folks can do is try to not eat so much spicy food.
Oh, okay.
Try to not eat so much spicy food. Spicy food in Chinese medicine in general is heat. Heat is another word for inflammation. Instead of having a lot of spicy food, eating more sour food instead.
Sour.
Okay. Sour food. Sour food in Chinese medicine is nourishing the liver system. It's going to soothe it instead of making it stagnant.
So, I don't know, that's why I'm asking. So, when the hormones are kind of out of whack and we're going through that stage of life, is it more directed towards balancing the energy within the liver? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So liver in Chinese medicine is in charge of hormonal health.
Got it.
So in Western medicine, we call it your hormones are all over the place. It's imbalanced. In Chinese medicine, the reason is because there's so much stagnation in the liver system. When we start to work on the liver health, your hormones are going to regulate themselves.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
So when you come to the first acupuncture appointment, I'm going to look at I'm going to take a traditional Chinese medicine intake. What that means is I'm going to look at your tongue, I'm going to take your pulse, and I'm going to ask you a few questions that gives me a whole idea of what is going on underneath your body. Why do we look at your tongue? So tongue diagnosis is one of the fundamental diagnosis tool in Chinese medicine. The shape of your tongue, the color of your tongue, the markings on your tongue, they all tell me different imbalances and a deficiency of your body. A lot of times people stick their tongue out and I explain to them, they're like, yes, you're right. And in terms of pulse diagnosis, I look at the 6 different organ systems and I can tell you what are the imbalances and deficiencies, what's going on with those organ systems. From there, I explain to you what are some lifestyle changes you can make, what are the treatment plan going forward so that you can start feeling better.